accountant swapped text messages with girlfriend as he killed a woman and teenage girl crossing road. An accountant who mowed down and killed two girls just seconds after sending a text to his girlfriend while driving his BMW wept as he was jailed for 6 years today. Preston Crown Court heard Mohmed Patel, 26, of Blackburn, had been swapping messages with his girlfriend while driving his mother and sisters to the shops. Just seconds later his 320 series vehicle plowed into a group of young people crossing the road in the Brockholsbrow area of Preston, Lancashire. Rachel Murphy, 23, died at the scene and Shelby Marr, 17, passed away later that night in hospital after both suffered multiple fatal injuries. A third girl, Megan Blakey, 15, was also injured in the impact but recovered after spending a week in hospital. Two boys who crossed the road just in front of the three girls escaped unhurt. Patel claimed he did not see the group even though it was broad daylight and other motorists saw the group crossing ahead of them. He was charged after a driver he overtook in the moments before the tragedy noticed him holding a mobile phone in his right hand. Inquiries revealed he had sent 3 messages in the minutes before the impact to a woman known only as Nilu asking where she was. At Preston Crown Court, Patel was convicted of causing death by dangerous driving after a retrial. He admitted the lesser charge of causing death by careless driving. He was also banned from driving for 9 years. It also emerged he had been given a fixed penalty notice in 2014 for using a mobile phone at the wheel of his car. Judge Robert Altham said, "No text was so urgent that it was worth the life of these 2 young women. It is clear the defendant failed to see any of those people in the road and after he had hit them he did not appreciate what he hit." He added that Patel may as well have been driving with his eyes closed. He said, his explanation for not seeing the pedestrians is that he was not paying attention to the road as he had his mobile phone in his hand against the steering wheel. He has sent a text message to his girlfriend. He was waiting for a response. This was a plainly avoidable distraction. During that driving period he deliberately looked at his phone rather than on the road ahead. It would have been clear from the fixed penalty notice what impact using a mobile phone has while driving, yet he did not heed this. During the course of his evidence and trial, there was no significant remorse for his 2 victims, more sadness at finding himself in the predicament he is in. The tragedy occurred at 6:40 p.m. on April 20, 2016 after Patel agreed to take his mother and sister shopping in Preston. The victims had met up together to sit on the banks of a nearby river and were crossing the A59 when tragedy struck. In a statement one of the boys who walked ahead of the girls said, "We crossed over and no one was coming. I turned round to see if they're all right and I waved at them and they waved back and I thought they'll make it across. We carried on walking and then I had a bang and I saw this car skidding. I thought a car tire had blown up and then I saw all of them on the floor." One motorist driving along the road said he saw the group crossing but they were so far ahead of him he did not need to slow down. However, Patel then suddenly overtook him at up to 50 miles per hour and then plowed into the youngsters without apparently braking before his car stopped 150 yards up the road. One of the girls was seen be flung into the air by the force of the impact before landing in the road. Megan was seen limping to safety holding her leg following the crash. Experts believe Patel was traveling at up to 45 miles per hour at the time of the impact. The road has a speed limit of 40 miles per hour. An officer noticed Patel was still holding his phone when he arrived at the crash scene and found the incriminating texts. Patel had sent 2 messages at 6:12 p.m. to Nilu saying, "Are you out? Need white to check SMT?" When she replied 35 minutes later saying, "Yeah, at Maids," Patel texted back at 6:37 p.m. and 57 seconds saying, "Her house." Just 42 seconds later he used the same phone to dial 999 following the crash. Francis McEntee prosecuting said, the reason he didn't see these 3 people in broad daylight, was he was more interested in his mobile phone than the road ahead. His attention was distracted from the road for a significant period as a consequence of which he failed to see the group of people who were readily apparent to the other drivers approaching the scene. One motorist said as the BMW overtook him he could see the driver's hands were at 9 and 3 on the steering wheel, and in his right hand in the 3 o'clock position the driver was holding a mobile phone. In brief terms, within 42 seconds of sending as text message to his girlfriend, the defendant had killed 2 young women with his car. The text message was sent whilst he was driving, and the message he sent was a question. The response to that question was clearly a greater concern to the defendant than what was happening on the road ahead of him. It explains why he did not see Rachel, Shelby, or Megan even at the point he struck them. He was avoidably distracted, and distracted to the extent he never saw them. In a statement, Shelby's mother said, "She was a sweet, charming child. She was always singing and always excited to be performing. There are little things I miss about her, and every day has become a battle. I will never see her grow up, get married or have children." Patel said that he texted his girlfriend before he set off and said he sent her message while stationary at traffic lights, but denied having phone in his hand at the time of the impact. He said, "I saw my windscreen smash. I didn't know what it was. I pulled over. I came out of the vehicle and I saw pedestrians in the road. That is when I dialed 999. I was in shock. I do accept I should have seen the pedestrians in the road. I don't know why I didn't see them. But it was not because of my mobile phone.